Hello all of you lovely individuals, and welcome back to another video for the day. We're going back into r/entitled parents because, like the insane parents, yeah, no, some of them very much do have that entitlement in them. So if you guys would love to be absolutely amazing, show your support, and see more videos like this one in the near future, be sure to hit the like button, leave a comment down below to start up them wholesome internet discussions, and if you guys have not already, subscribbles. My family is pressuring me to give my 23F sister my 28F wedding venue because she needs it more and is pregnant. Hi guys, I posted this over at Relationship Device. My update got removed, so I will post the original story, as well as the two updates here, as a big all-in-one story. Sorry for any grammatical or spelling errors. I had uploaded this story one time, but it was removed due to my account being younger than 120 hours. Edit. People have asked why I post this so much. The reason is just that I wanted to keep you updated. This is just a comprised story of all what happened. The story on Am I the Antagonist was removed because it violates Rule 8. And the mods on RA informed me that they had to remove it unless I can verify myself with some sort of social media. I just looked for a sub where I can keep all of the beautiful people that supported me so much in the loop. Edit 2, guys, I really appreciate you wanting to support us, but we don't need donations. We are luckily good off and have support net around us. I appreciate the sentiment and am really touched by all of your support, and that all I really need. So part 1. My fiancé and I have been together for 8 years and engaged for 3. I was doing my PhD program and was juggling planning the wedding. My fiancé took much of that work, but it was perfect because our dream venue was booked till after my graduation. So what we did is book our dream venue 3 years in advance. It is really a beautiful venue. The only slot we got was September of the year. My sister got engaged a few months ago to her fiancé. They were planning on having a spring wedding this year. They had no venue lined up, but had a few vendors lined up as well as a set date. Yesterday, our parents invited us and our significant others to a family barbecue, where my sister announced to our extended family that she is expecting. Everyone was so happy for her, and my brother-in-law, who is a great guy. My nan asked my sister if the wedding was still on the set date, or if they were going to wait because of the baby. She said no, that she hoped to move it to September. Not a bad idea. But we don't have many out-of-town guests, so they could attend to both weddings no problem. Nan was happy and asked sister if she needed help planning such a short-notice wedding. My sister then turns around and said, "That's what I wanted to talk to you about. I was really hoping we could take your venue." I really cannot stress myself too much with planning a wedding while going to maternity classes. And I think it is so beautiful. It would really mean a lot to me. It went silent, but everyone was looking at me expecting me to say, "Oh, yes, of course, everything for my little sister." My brother-in-law looked very uncomfortable and told her that they had talked about this and that it was not okay to put me on the spot. But my sister just said, "Oh, don't be like that. My sister wants to do what's best for me, so it's no big deal, right?" I just said, "Well, it kinda is." I don't know, I have my heart really set on the venue. Cue the crying. She stormed off. Nan told me that I was being selfish because she needed the venue more than I did. I tried to defend myself, and my mother said, "You waited 3 years. Would it have killed you to wait a few more months? When your sister has ever asked you for something?" A few comments later, my fiancé got really mad and we left. My sister called me crying and said that it was unfair, that I always get what I want, and that I could have done this one thing for her. Dad really said it was just a venue and what matters is the person who you are marrying. He is a kid of right, but we have been planning this for so long. My fiance is furious with my family and doesn't even want my sister to come. Now, my family is threatening not to come because I am being selfish and my sister needs it more than me because having a baby is too stressful. Part 2. My brother-in-law called me and apologized for the inconvenience. He told me that he had discussed it with my sister, and she had told him she would not ask. He is properly mad with her now, and warned me that my sister is blaming me for potentially ruining her marriage. My father has sent me about 5 texts along the lines of, "I hope you are happy your sister hasn't stopped crying since yesterday," and so on, and so on. My fiance and I have decided to boot my sister from the bridal party and replace her with my aunt, who is the only family member that took my side. We have not decided whether or not we will invite my family as a whole. Furthermore, my mom took it upon herself to tell on us. She called fiance's parents and told them that it would be best if my sister gets it because she is pregnant and pre-eclampsia runs in the family, whatever that means. My future father-in-law told them to F off and basically ripped my mom a new one for expecting something so ridiculous and that they were going to lose me if they kept playing favorites. So, my mom is now crying too and saying that my father-in-law is an ass. This is just getting so pathetic. It seems straight out of a bad soap opera. My in-laws are driving to us currently with some supper and wine and basically told me to not worry and that no matter what happens, that they will be my safety net. I cried of happiness. Part 3. So it hasn't been that long, but the post blew the hell up. I was expecting only a few answers, but the support was overwhelming. What boggled my mind is that this story floated over to mainstream media, but let's get to the story. So, since this went viral, a lot has happened. My sister saw the story while browsing on her Reddit account. She lost her mind. She accused me of painting her a loony and misinterpreted facts. My sister got wind of the situation due to various media outlets and went on Reddit. She said that I was being unfair, that she is family, and that she asked it nicely because she loves me. She also underlines the fact that the opinion of internet strangers doesn't count because family is more important, and I should focus on making my family happy. The only text I sent back was this: "I am sorry that you perceived it that way. I will not in any manner distort what happened. As you might notice, I didn't describe your tone nor exaggerated anything. Perhaps you have that night different in your mind than I do, but I digress. I am sick and tired of bending to your will. My whole life, I have been your servant and your doormat. Remember all of the birthdays I had to share with you because you would throw a tantrum because you didn't get presents? Or when you cried up that I would fill out job applications for you? But the thing that hurts me the most till now is when you ruined my graduation. I am done. I admit that I also spoiled you, but I will not any longer. If you want to marry so bad before your baby is born, then you could look at Hotel X that offers last-minute weddings. I have spent too much time planning my wedding to gift it to you, and if you want to ruin our relationship over this, then go ahead. I will sleep sound and safe knowing that it wasn't my fault. She only sent me a wow, you must love me so very much, and blocked me. She unblocked me this morning and sent me this. Wedding planner. Hello, dear. I got the message from your mother and will proceed with the rebooking of the venue on the spot. However, this will have extra cost as we have to change the names on the contract. Please come to my office tomorrow so we can sign the new contract. Sister, that's great. I'll be there at 9. My parents haven't actually written me since the thing. And with my father-in-law, my older brother, yes, I have an older brother, but he lives in another city and wasn't at the barbecue. That's why I didn't mention him. Plus, he initially could not come to my wedding because of work and changed his plans after hearing about the story. Contacted me and wanted to know what happened because he had gotten a weird story from Mom and Dad. Mom and Dad had told him that I had offered, previous to the barbecue, to give up the venue to my sister and that I humiliated her. I told him what really happened and he had no problem believing me. We talked a lot about our parents' behavior, and he confessed that him moving was partly due to our parents being, and I quote, dookie heads to us. He told me that Mom had gotten wind of the post and was mad at me for betraying my family. I haven't written my parents what so many of you advised me to because I've come to terms with the fact that they love my sister more than me, if they love me at all. For the wedding, we sat together and put passwords with majority of our vendors and also with the venue directly. We didn't talk to our planner yet, which is why the text from my sister worries me so much.
Okay, look, I know that you've been waiting multiple years in order to do this, but you should give that up for me because I'm pregnant.
Look, ma'am, just because you got more loaded than a Boston cream pie donut does not mean you should be able to steal a venue that somebody else has been waiting multiple years for.
Oh, just because the family.
No, screw you. It's not their fault you suck at planning. And it really does suck that the family wants to side with your sister on that. Look, I hope they have a nice wedding, and I hope that they are not anywhere near it. I just saw a lady get tasered for trying to snatch a woman's face mask to give to her child. I argue with my husband about whether or not to post this because I'm pretty sure this will make the local news, and I didn't want to burn this account just yet. But he won RPS, so here we are. Prepare yourself, this story has layers. We were at the dreaded big box store picking up some potting soil because we are doing a DIY ourselves through the isolation. Things aren't crazy here yet, but there is a 2 per customer limit on a majority of items. I assume this means everything, so we are getting 2 bags of each new type of soil. My husband is loading the last of the 8 bags into our cart when I hear her. I know it's a Karen just by the level of unnecessary outrage in her voice.
Are you kidding me?
Not a lot of people out there in the gardening center, but we all look to her. I was almost disappointed to see she didn't come with the requisite haircut. She actually looked like a frazzled mom, her kid tugging on her hand, and an overfull hand basket of groceries. And I had a moment of, girl, I feel you, but damn it, she was pointing at us.
You can't buy that many. You are hoarding.
Yeah, we can. We're buying 2 of each.
No, you don't fool me. I know what you're doing.
So do I. F off. I'm just sitting there imagining all the ways I'm gonna rock his world tonight. Well, Karen huffed at that, spun around, and yanked her kid back to go inside and to complain to the employee working the register nearby. Now, we already paid for our items. The employee had come out and scanned the bag earlier, and he could see our cart from the inside. So, being finished, we pushed our cart out to the garden center to the parking lot. And then the automatic doors open behind us, and I hear,
Now they're stealing.
just great. We load the soil into the car and turn around to bring the cart back and look at plants. By the time we get back, Karen has given up on trying to convince the employee that we are Bonnie and Clyde of dirt, and is now trying to negotiate skipping somebody in the line. She has a child, you see, and her handbasket, well, it's just so full and heavy. Could she please just scoot right on in there real quick and just be an extra second? She swears. The woman the Karen is trying to skip is young, maybe college age, and wearing a face mask. Not a medical mask, but the stretchy kind you'd wear while riding a motorcycle or when you're skiing. My husband has just informed me it is a neck gaiter. The mask is black and it's like scary wolf teeth on it, and honestly, it made the girl look like somebody you should not F with, even though she was wearing a Gap t-shirt and flip-flops. Mask Girl is just shaking her head no, and that's all I got as we dropped off the cart. I browse, pick up a couple of plants, and we head inside to wait in line. Now it's showtime. Karen and Mask Girl are near the register facing off. No pun intended. From the looks of things, Mask Girl finished her purchase, and Karen stopped her before she could leave. I don't know if she grabbed her or anything, but Karen was still holding her hand-filled basket, so she hadn't checked out yet. Well, she hadn't paid for her groceries yet, because clearly this woman had checked out.
But you don't even need it now. You're leaving. My son could get sick because you won't give it to him, and he needs it.
F no, you can't have it. Back off, lady.
But my son really likes it, and it's obviously made for boys anyway. Why would you even want to wear something so scary?
Because I like it, and it has my germs on it, so why would you put a stranger's mask on your kid?
Ugh. Why are you being so rude? You wouldn't let us go to the checkout first, and now you're making my son very upset.
Your problem, not mine. And then the Mask Girl turns to leave while Karen manifests the biggest balls ever and grabs Mask Girl by the back of her mask. Let me make a side note here. When all of this was going down, we are all just standing in line and watching. The register is still going beep, boop, boop, as the employee scans the items, but otherwise we're all just inside this hypnotic bubble. But when Karen reached out towards Mask Girl, it was like the bubble popped and made everything crystal clear now. No slow-mo or anything, but I absolutely felt hyper-aware, like Spider-Man. Karen reaches out. People on both sides of me inhale loudly. Karen grabs the mask and yanks. A lady on my right side yells at my husband, steps forward. So, getting laid tonight. A Mask Girl tucks her head down, and she turns to Karen like a pissed-off bull in a bright, shiny new Target. I think Karen was going to say something like,
"Don't walk away from me," or
something, but all she got was, "Don't crack." I looked around because the noise was so loud, I figured the roof was about to cave in. But out of the corner of my eye, I see Karen spasm and drop to the floor writhing. Little Miss Mask Girl had a freaking taser. I don't know when she pulled it out, this tiny little flashlight looking thing, but she laid Karen out with it, and not one of us moved for what felt like forever. Like we were frozen. And then it was freaking bedlam. Security guard shows up, more employees show up. The Mask Girl is chilling like she's been through this before and knows what comes next. The kid is screaming that the wolf girl killed his mom, even though she's groaning and sobbing on the floor. So clearly not dead, but maybe wishing she was. And people that had been in line with us were all talking at once, trying to tell the security guard what happened. We hung around just witnessing the insanity for maybe 2 minutes before Karen started choking out demands for an ambulance, the police, a lawyer, the mayor, restitution, and reparations. My husband made eye contact with an employee and got a thumbs up when he pulled the plants off of the shelf and pointed towards the door. We got the F out of there. We drove home in silence until my husband parked the car in our driveway, and then we just burst out laughing. Neither of us have ever seen something like that before. We live in a small beach town. People are super laid back and mellow. Karen was nothing, but I hope to never see her again. ETA, not sure what the awards mean, but thank you very much. I made this account to tell a story that happened 25 years ago, and blew my shot on a Karen instead. Slowly responding to messages, but to answer a couple of questions, I can't access security footage. I am an unreliable narrator in what Karen's body actually did. I wasn't looking directly at her, but she flailed, fell, and squirmed while groaning. I do not know the difference between a taser and a stun gun. Masked girl had what looked like a thin baton flashlight. We have very lax taser laws in the state. Thank you for reading, and take care of yourselves and stay safe.
I do not care if you have cancer. My child deserves your seat.
This encounter happened about 7 months ago. I do not want to insult your intelligence because you most likely already know what EM and me stands for. But I should say that EK in the story stands for embarrassed kid, and OG stands for old gentleman, 60-some-year-old old guy. The kid was very polite and sorry, so the story isn't about him. Also, I'm translating this into English, so bear with me here. A little backstory. About a year ago, I was diagnosed with cancer of the nasal cavity, stage 2. The tumor was quite large to begin with thankfully benign. Edits! People have pointed out I formulated this wrong. By benign, I wanted to shorten the fact that I still did not spread into another issue. Thus, it was still contained. Which is what I thought the word meant. I apologize for my gaps in knowledge. To get it removed, I first had to undergo aggressive chemotherapy to make it smaller. Thanks to the chemo, I had severe alopecia, hair loss, which made most of my hair and even eyebrows and eyelashes fall out. At some point, I had to go bald, but I wore a wig, because I didn't want to look like a skinhead or Neo. Yeah, I can't say that on YouTube. I'm 6'4" and pretty muscular, so I thought people would assume. So, once after a long chemo session in the hospital, I took the bus home. There was only one bus that goes from the hospital to where I live. So, I took that one only to see that it was absolutely packed. I felt like Dookie thanks to the chemo, so I asked a middle-aged dude to let me sit. He was very understanding and gave me his spot without complaining. If you're reading this, thanks bro. 2 stops later, enter EM, a lovely whale and an I demand a parley with the CEO haircut, and a 12-some-year-old kid. It took her roughly 5 seconds to see that the bus was packed, started looking for a free seat, spot me, and start marching, or in her case, trying to fit in the aisle between the seats while shoving others aside, to me. When I saw her, I knew that I was screwed. She then stood next to me and decided to talk to me. This is the conversation that followed.
Hey, could you let my kid sit down?
What do you mean?
Who else?
Oh, I'm sorry, but I'm on my way home from the hospital and EM cutting me off.
So are we.
Nonsense. The stop was a few kilometers away from the hospital.
My boy just broke his leg, and we are coming straight from the ER.
Her kid was standing next to her, without any support, and clearly embarrassed. He is standing next to you completely fine.
Look here, boy.
I am 21 years old.
My kid deserves to sit down.
Look, madam, I'm sorry, but I just got back from doing a chemo session in the hospital, and I need to sit down and rest. I then removed my wig a bit to let her see my bald head. EM then straight up started yelling at my face.
Stop making excuses and get off of the freaking seat, you freaking skinhead POS.
At this point, I was baffled. I didn't know what to say. The kid was trying to make his mother stop, and we had the attention of the whole bus. She then grabbed me and tried to yank me from my seat. I held on tight and thankfully didn't fall off. Now enter OG, my savior.
Will you shut the frick up, you dumb cow?
Who do you think you're talking to?
With ice cold voice,
Stop attacking other passengers or I will be forced to step in. Also, every dumb moron could see that the dude is cancer.
No, he's just the freaking skinhead.
He's got no eyebrows, you twat.
seems like that really offended EM, because she spun around on the spot and threw a falcon punch in OG's face. I was shocked and in disbelief. The whole bus was flabbergasted, and the kid probably wished that he had never been born. OG then said something unbelievable, and a golden sweet karma moment followed.
Okay, that's it. Taking passenger on the bus, physical attacking against a passenger, and now attacking an officer. You're in deep trouble, lady.
OG then pulled out a badge and told her to stay where she was. Then he pulled out his phone, called someone, and told her that she was being arrested. I couldn't believe it. OG was a bloody cop. At this point, EM was as white as a wall. The bus had just come to a stop, so she decided that she would make a run for it, but other passengers blocked her way. She then also got charged with resisting arrest thanks for this. 3 stops later, a police car was waiting for the EM and EK. EK told me he was sorry for his mother's behavior, and I felt really sorry for the kid. He wasn't a bad kid, but his mother was a hellspawn. OG then talked to me and asked me if I wanted to press charges, to which I gladly said yes, took a statement, and thankfully was kind enough to let me solve everything on the phone, so I didn't have to come to the police station for questioning. In the end, EM did get some jail time, I think it was a few months, and some community service. I, in return, got a good story to tell and the sweet taste of instant karma. Right now, I'm riding the same bus home, as I just got home from the hospital after a checkup. Which reminds me of this. A friend who is sitting next to me told me I should post this here. He, as much as myself, also couldn't believe that such people existed, but it seems I proved it to him. I should also note that the surgery went well, I was declared cancer-free in November, and my hair is slowly returning. Also, I don't need to wear a wig anymore. Hey, great job, dude! But with that, that is going to have to be it with the video. If you guys would love to be absolutely amazing, show your support and see more videos like this one in the near future, be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment down below to start up some wholesome internet discussions, and if you guys have not already, subscribe to the channel and turn on them notifications. And I'll be sure to see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye!